Hi viewers, you're welcome to our YouTube channel once again, and this is Extra. You know, as we do it here on Extra, we give you exciting entertainment stories on social media, and of course we bring you into real media, whatever is going on. And I believe you are enjoying the week as I am. And before I continue, let's take what went on social media this week.
Wendy Shei's uncle sues despite media, one other for defamation. Mr. Konaidu took to the decision after Ima Amankwa Efrifa alleged on NEET FM some weeks ago that he sacked Wendy Shei from his house after she decided to do music, but Bullet came to her rescue and gave her a place to sleep after she was stranded. However, Wendy Shei's uncle, who was not happy about the statement, filed a suit against Despite Media and Ima Amankwa Efrifa at a high court in Accra while denying such claims. Yvonne Nelson jabs politicians over voters register. Actress Yvonne Nelson has taken a swipe at politicians for urging Ghanaians to go out in their numbers to partake in the voters registration exercise. Ms. Nelson has kicked against this and advised the masses to use common sense rather than follow the dictates of politicians who do not have their interests at heart. Mr. Easy to release song featuring Nicki Minaj. Afrobeat singer Mr. Easy says he has collaborated on a song with one of America's biggest rappers, Nicki Minaj. He announced this when he revealed he is releasing a new song with Jamaican-American group Major Lazer and UK's K-Fomo. According to the Sample You Hitmaker, the tune will be released on July 16. Kwabena threatens to sue Konti Hini. Ghanaian musician Kwabena has threatened to sue Konti Hini for making defamatory statements against him. Over the last few days, Konti Hini made some damning revelations about Kwabena in an interview. According to Konti Hini, Kwabena has been on drugs for as long as he can remember. He is making dangerous allegations that he has made bad investment for spending his money on me. I will take him to court. You do not do that. He should be very careful. Maybe he wants to do something and is writing on my name. That is okay. But to go that length to denigrate me is not appropriate, Kwabena has said. Medical releases his new song featuring Kennedy Japan, and celebrities react. The long wait is finally over as Ghanaian rapper Medical has released a song that features the MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Japan, titled No Cap. Medical shared videos of the recordings on his social media page, that is Instagram. Kelvin Boy celebrates 1 million streams on Boomplay for his Time album. Afrobeat sensation Kelvin Boy has celebrated his Time album, hitting 1 million streams on Boomplay in his own way. He made this big announcement on his social media platform and celebrated it with his fans. This great news and achievement. Celebrating the news, Kelvin Boy announced another album, Black Star, saying since the Time album has hit 1 million views, it was time for the next work to come out. So that is all we have for you on what is trending online. Now let's get into our story. That's from Real Media. On the Big Bite with Amanda last Friday, we featured Keche, and this is what they had to say. Ghana artists are belittled and see other artists from outside better than them while they talked about their music album. They said they would be having their second album soon, which contains 30 songs and have been categorized into different genres of songs, including 15 videos.
When we hear that maybe Diamond Platinum has bought a house in South Africa worth $500,000, we believe it's true. But when we hear that, when we hear Shatta Wale has bought a house in Islam worth $1 million, it's not true. You understand? And that thing is killing the industry.
That's how we see our artists. We belittle ourselves. I mean, we are working on our second album, which is gonna be a 30-track album. It has never happened in Ghana.
30?
Yeah, 30-track album.
That's a lot of work.
And then we're gonna have almost 15 videos.
They also added that their relationship with George Britton is still intact, even though they've been signed onto a new record label.
George Britton, what's there? What's there? They don't hear radio TV. George Britton, on your manager, you want to there, any record label, we're still with him.
And on KOD Meet, we featured an award-winning businesswoman, Roberta Annan, and this is what she also had to say. Raising money for creative is tough. The owner for African Fashion Fund, Roberta Annan, has disclosed that raising money for creative is tough in Africa because we lack the infrastructure and success stories that have been commercialized.
Raising money for creatives is tough
You know, if you look at the trend of money,
is it worldwide or in this space?
in worldwide,
Okay.
but you know, Africa is tough because the reason why it's tough is we lack the infrastructure,
Right.
and we lack the success stories that have been commercialized. So you cannot pinpoint and say that X and Y private equity fund placed
Right.
money in X and Y music production and made this.
She took us straight into fashion, where she told us how she began the African Fashion Foundation after meeting the late chief editor for Vogue Italia, who told her about a magazine she's planning on doing for Africa, named Rebranding Africa.
You know, the African Fashion Foundation now, in fact, started while I was at the United Nations. I was approached by the late Franca Zozani, and she said, listen, I want to do a magazine called Rebranding Africa that is going to shed light on the creativity on the continent. But this came out in 2012 May in Lomo Vogue, and it had Ban Ki-moon on the cover. Exactly.
Roberta Annan had later set up the African Fashion Fund when she realized there was a high demand for African creativities from the Vogue made by the late chief editor. Hence, addressed to showcase African creativity overseas and education on fashion designs. The Fashion Week was graced with the presence of Kenneth Eze and Naomi Campbell.
So I decided to set up African Fashion Fund then to basically address this. And Franca Zozani is a lifetime advisory board member, even though she passed on.
Okay.
First, I wanted to create the opportunity for designers to showcase their work overseas. And I also wanted to focus on education and capacity building. And the first ever fellow we had was Kenneth Eze. Kenneth Eze just showed his work 2 days ago in Paris Fashion Week. I was super proud. I mean, Naomi Campbell walked his show. I mean, everybody was there at his show.
And that's all I have for you today on Extra. Thanks for watching. But before I go, kindly like, share, leave your comments, and most importantly, subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms, The Big Bites with Amanda, Read the Chef, and KOD Me. My name is Afia. Do have a nice day.